Okay, so I want to talk about the place or the position of a man in our society. Okay, first, I want us to take two scenarios. First, we have a girl child, and secondly, we have a boy child. I want you to figure this. Okay, I'll basically use this according to Kenyan context or Kenyan society. Okay, so one, if a girl child is going out and if a boy child is also doing what is also going out, you as a parent, mother, or as a father, you realize that when the girl is going out, you usually make sure that you know where she's going to, whom she's going with, and usually give her guidelines and instructions like you must be home by this time, don't be late, be careful outside there. But when your boy is going out, maybe you won't even bother. You just ask, okay, you'll just be all of a sudden, maybe when you want to ask or to request him to go get you something, then you'll be like, oh, where's Tom? Where's Brian? Then your sister, your daughter maybe will tell you, oh, he went out. Then you'll be like, oh, okay. So this is it. We don't bother when our boys get out, but we are really concerned when our female kids or children get out. Okay, number two. Let's take both your boy and your girl are in boarding schools. When the girl comes back home, she'll probably give you even the report form. You'll even ask her how the school was. But when your boy comes back home, maybe the school released them by 10 a.m. in the morning, but maybe your boy will come back by 7 in the evening, and you won't even be bothered. Even you won't notice he's around until maybe you wake up one morning and find him on the breakfast table. That's when you know, oh, you're home. That's nice. You don't even ask him about how the school was. So we are missing something here. Remember that we are nurturing our boys to believing that this society doesn't care about them. We are building these boys up to make them believe that they need to defend for themselves, that they don't need to tell anyone how they feel. They don't need to tell anyone what's happening to them. If your boys come back home at 12 midnight and your girls come back home at 11 p.m. at night, you'll probably be concerned where she went to, but you won't even ask your boy where he was. Realize that, girls, ladies, let's talk this. You realize that your mother will really talk more about the fact that you went out, you never told her where you went. There'll be a lot of quarreling, but when the boy comes back home, they just like normal, nothing, it's okay, you went there, you are home, it's okay. Do you think that maybe this boy went out, something happened to him, but he can't tell you because we have brought them up believing that, if something happens to you, fight it on your own the way a man should fight it on his own. We tend to think that these boys have it all, men have it all, but the real sense is that they don't have it all. The relationship between you and your boy child, or between you and your man, let's not put it in a way that, they know what they're doing, they can fend for themselves. Okay, let me really look at boys. Okay, if you bring up a child in a way that, you try to help him, that he really needs to share with you what's going on, he needs you to tell how he's feeling, you be concerned with him. We tend to assume that we're not concerned with the boys and you're mainly concerned with the girl child, forgetting that these boys also need to be taken care of. They deserve to be listened to. You might find out that even in boarding school, your kid has been harassed, your kid has been bullied, molested, but he won't tell you because you know what? They've been taught that, when you're at school, fight like a man. Maybe he lost his shirt in school or his box has been, broken into. that maybe that male teacher won't be really concerned with it. Just tell him, it's a matter of your life. It's okay. That's what happened. So being okay in that school when it's there, then he'll be like, it's okay. When he comes home, he'll not tell his mom or dad, my shirt got lost, my box was broken into, because he's made to believe that that's the way of life. That's how things are supposed to be for men. But we are forgetting this one thing, that these people are really hurting. These people really don't even know where they are going to. The way you're bringing them up, the way you're trying to mold them, really is breaking them. They're weak on the inside. The fact that they can smile, they can talk happily from the outside, doesn't mean that they have it all. They don't have it all. They're really a mess. If you can try and assess boys, they're really a mess if you don't bring them up properly. So, okay, as parents or even as fellow girls to the boys, please, let's try and, talk to them. I know most boys won't talk to you because, the way he was brought up is the way he learns things. But you as a parent, if you bring up your child and you're concerned about him the same way we are concerned about the girl child, then this kid will probably tell you how he feels. Then you want him to be stronger. If you bring him up in a very good way, he'll be able to tell you things, and you in turn will be able to tell him how things are supposed to be done, how strong he's supposed to be. So let's not put on the fact that boys have it all, he needs to act as a man. No, let's bring it in a way in that we can teach our children, we can teach our boys and tell them, boy, this is how you're supposed to take this. Don't just assume him, brush him off and tell me, you're a man, behave like a man. No, let's listen to them. Let's try and figure out what's wrong with them before you make your own judgment. When he comes back home, to tell him, son, sometimes you just need to tell me where you're going to, and I'll be happy. I'll know that you're safe. Don't just brush him off and tell me, oh, you're home, it's okay. When he goes to school, make sure he has everything. Okay, you find that most boys in boarding school, they don't get their parents coming home because they're used to that, and it doesn't bother them. But please, as parents, let's just, try. Take that step time at time. Even if you never cared for him when he was young, at least this point, at least try. Make that effort. Let him know that you cared, so that when he becomes a grown-up, when he's a man enough to manage his own family, he'll see that, even if my parents never cared for me when I was young, at some stage I realized that they really cared about me. And if you start caring for him when he's young, then probably he'll have that attitude of caring for his son when he will be growing up. So let's stop assuming that boys have it.